the generation was called hippies because they had long hair and tattoos, and they were always in black and always kind of raggedy dressed, and drank and they smoked, and they always had a cigarette in their mouth. You knew it was marijuana.
Yeah.
And they drank, and they didn't care where they were. If they wanted sex, they had it right out there in the middle of the park. Just about.
Yeah.
Kent State University, the kids at Kent State University were against the war in Vietnam.
That was a big
and
protest.
They fought and they marched. Was his offices and everything to people working for him was in Chicago, and there's a big park in Chicago, and we had to walk through the park to get to over to where the building was, where they were holding the whatever it's called, where you'll find out. Where people go work for. Well, the cops left them alone. They weren't bothering anybody. They weren't trying to grab a hold of people or say anything. They didn't say anything to us. But the way they acted, they acted like they didn't have a brain in their head. They were all dressed really wacky, and just things in their noses and their ears and their, that's when that started, the long hair on the men, and the girls were kind of grungy looking. They probably weren't dirty, but they just had a grungy look. We walked back to the park and we got in the car and we left. Then we weren't going more on the highway longer than 10 minutes until it came on the radio. All hell broke loose. I mean, it went nuts. The Chicago cops, they don't ask you what your name is or anything. These yuppies and hippies started something. That's when they started. We don't know what they did, but they started something. It's everybody, don't trust anybody over 30, because anybody over 30 years old is an idiot.
If someone's going to make an obvious and blatant attack on the United States, there obviously have to be consequences. I think it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, unless they know someone that's in the war. It doesn't really affect them directly like it would have.
Does this surprise you?
Honestly, no, because there are very few people my age that are into current events or even watch the news.
When he was over in Vietnam, no one ever said anything to me about it.
Okay.
When I lived in Berwick.
In
Small towns were interested in it.
It was just this year that Obama passed the Equal Pay for Women's Act. We're still not earning the same as a man would for the same job. Women still have a harder time to achieve higher level jobs than men do. No, there's definitely work to be done, but we have come a long way, that's for sure. The civil rights movement and the gay rights movement are hand in hand right now. They need to stop having benefits for married couples, But if they want to continue to see those benefits that married couples have, then they better allow everyone those benefits, not just people that are straight.